the late 1980s and early 1990s, the Star Wars franchise was already a cultural phenomenon, captivating fans with its epic tales of space battles, daring heroes, and iconic villains. With the growing popularity of the Nintendo Entertainment System, it was only natural for the galaxy far, far away to make its way onto the 8-bit console. Developed by Lucasfilm Games and published by JVC in 1991, Star Wars for the NES brought the magic of George Lucas's legendary universe into the hands of gamers. By the late 1980s, Lucasfilm Games, now known as LucasArts, had begun carving out a reputation in the gaming industry with titles like Maniac Mansion and Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade. They sought to bring the same innovation to a Star Wars game that they had to their earlier projects. For the NES, Lucasfilm collaborated with Beam Software, an Australian developer known for titles like The Hobbit. The challenge was monumental, adapting the grand scale and narrative complexity of Star Wars Episode IV, A New Hope into an NES game while staying true to its spirit. The result was a side-scrolling action-adventure title that aimed to combine exploration, puzzle-solving, and combat in one cohesive experience. The NES was a powerful system for its time, but condensing the expansive Star Wars universe into an 8-bit cartridge required creative compromises. The developers utilized detailed sprite work and a variety of gameplay mechanics to capture the essence of the movies while keeping the game accessible to players of all ages. Star Wars for the NES closely follows the plot of A New Hope, though it takes some creative liberties for the sake of gameplay. Players take on the role of Luke Skywalker as he embarks on his journey from Tatooine farm boy to rebel hero. The game begins with Luke discovering the droids C-3PO and R2-D2, which sets him on the path to rescue Princess Leia from the clutches of Darth Vader. Along the way, players will explore familiar locations like the deserts of Tatooine, the Death Star, and the Rebel base. Key characters such as Han Solo, Chewbacca, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Princess Leia make appearances, offering assistance or joining the adventure as playable characters. While the story deviates slightly for gameplay purposes, the game stays true to the essence of the Star Wars saga, delivering an engaging narrative for fans of the series. The majority of the gameplay consists of side-scrolling platforming and exploration. Players control Luke as he navigates treacherous terrain, battles stormtroopers, and solves puzzles to progress. The platforming sections require precision and patience, especially in later levels where hazards become more challenging. As the story progresses, Luke can recruit other characters, including Han Solo, Chewbacca, and Leia. Each character has unique abilities that can help in different situations. For example, Chewbacca is stronger in combat, while Leia's smaller hitbox makes her more agile. The game also includes vehicle-based gameplay. Players pilot the landspeeder across the deserts of Tatooine and take control of the Millennium Falcon in space battles. These sections break up the platforming and add variety to the experience. Luke starts with a basic blaster, but as he progresses, he gains access to his lightsaber and force powers. The force abilities, while limited, allow for unique strategies, such as using force jump to reach higher areas or force push to defeat enemies. Like many NES games of the era, it is known for its high difficulty. Players must navigate tricky platforming sections, defeat relentless enemies, and solve cryptic puzzles. The game doesn't hold your hand, making it a true test of skill and perseverance. The NES version of Star Wars was followed by Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back, but plans for a third NES game based on Return of the Jedi were scrapped due to the NES being phased out in favor of the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. While the NES version of Star Wars saw releases in North America, Europe, and Japan, each version had slight variations. The Japanese release featured some altered graphics and gameplay tweaks, catering to regional preferences. The game includes several cutscenes that attempt to recreate iconic moments from the movie, such as the destruction of the Death Star. While simplistic, these cutscenes added a cinematic feel to the game, making it stand out among NES titles. It is packed with secrets and hidden areas, encouraging players to explore every corner of its levels. Discovering these hidden elements often yields extra lives or powerful upgrades, making exploration rewarding. The NES Star Wars game was part of a larger trend of movie tie-in games in the late 1980s and early 1990s. While some adaptations fell short, the game managed to capture the magic of the movies, solidifying its place as a classic among Star Wars gaming titles. Star Wars for the NES was an ambitious effort to bring one of the most beloved movie franchises of all time into the realm of 8-bit gaming. While its high difficulty and occasional design quirks challenged players, its faithful adaptation of the Star Wars story, coupled with varied gameplay and memorable moments, made it a standout title on the NES. Whether you're a retro gamer or a lifelong fan of Star Wars, this game is worth revisiting for a nostalgic journey to a galaxy far, far away. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into the history of classic video games. May the Force be with you.